This shit's got to go.
Do you notice how when advertisers are trying to sell you something, they always price their item as $19.99 or $29.95. But when they're trying to show you the value of what you're getting in return, they never use that tactic. They say you're getting a value of $100 or $160 or $200. They always round it to the dollar, right? Interesting. How when they're using that in reverse, they don't use that tactic. It's just another example of the manipulation that they use to brainwash people. It's just really an insult to my intelligence, and it should be an insult to your intelligence. But as we all should know, that's how the advertising world works. It all works through manipulation. And if you look in today's world, the number one cost of all corporations is advertising their products. It just shows you, what kind of economic system we really have, and what it really does to people's mentality. Just think about it. The number one cost for corporations is advertising their product to you. The number one cost. Just shows how hard they really work to sell their garbage. The late great Bill Hicks, an amazing comedian who I really look up to, who had really deep socially conscious perspectives. He was started skits by saying, by a show of hands, I want the people in the audience to show me who works in marketing. And then people would, some people would raise their hands, and then he would be like, you know what my advice is for you? Kill yourself. No, there's no joke here. Grab a rope yourself up, and hang yourself. There's no reason for your existence. You are Satan's little spawn, filling up the world with vile and garbage. And it's interesting because, obviously he didn't even want to kill anybody, but there was a symbolic gesture in terms of what he was actually trying to mention, because it really is purely, I don't believe in evil, but if there's such a thing as evil, it's what the advertising world is doing to people, just creating a void in people, creating a false sense of insecurity that supposedly cannot be gotten rid of until you buy their item, until you buy their crap. And I'm going to create a whole video, devote a whole long video dissecting advertising and really how it works in tandem, how it works in the capitalist system to really drive the economy and perpetuate growth, which is just an idiotic concept. But while we're at it, I don't know if you guys heard of this book. It's called Propaganda. Edward Bernays, who was the nephew of Sigmund Freud, he, in this book, recommended to industry after World War II that America create a culture of wants, artificial wants, through advertising, planting the seeds in people's heads that, they're worthless, or their life could be so much better if they get this car or get this new next version of this brand or whatever. And it was really disruptive. You look at the environment, what we're doing to the planet, habitat destruction. Pre-World War II America consumed half of what it does today. Now, is that just a change in our genes that we just want things all of a sudden? No, it's because our culture is really creating that. Our culture is a contrived sense of consumerism that's been ramped up because of people like this. Because of what they recommended to industry, that people were becoming satisfied because technology was so advanced that at that point manufacturing was becoming more efficient. We're creating an abundance. People were simply becoming satisfied with their life. They didn't have to keep buying more stuff. And so the culture had to be dramatically changed to go from a culture of, puritanical ethics and one that was about conservation and preservation to one that was just unbelievable levels of consumption to what we see today. Probably the worst display of consumerism and blind mass consumption, which is like Black Friday. So, it's very sad, but when you see the world today where we are literally overshooting our resource consumption, that the habitat of the planet simply cannot sustain this kind of economic growth anymore, well, you can thank people like Edward Bernays and people like him that, have really just done a psychological con job on the society at large. It's just sad that people no longer even, association of their identity is no longer about what they do and their talents. It's literally what they own. So what brands you own, what kind of car you drive, what kind of shoes you wear, literally embody who you are as a person. Which should never be, that should never ever be the case with us. Human beings, we're so much more intelligent and creative than that. So, in this video, I'm going to make 3 recommendations as far as what you can do to combat this, needless level of consumption and, the evil of the capitalist advertising world. So I can make 3 recommendations as far as what I see is reasonable in terms of what we can do to combat this. And number one would be to live your life based on what you really need. Buy things that you absolutely need. Okay, your life, the level of fulfillment and happiness in your life should not be based on what you own. It should be based on what you do, your experiences. Traveling, reading an interesting book. Playing some music, doing something interesting. That fascinates you. Yeah, obviously eating, having a healthy life, eating nutritious food, being around your family. These are things that matter, not what you own. I wear clothing for the sake of just needing clothing. I don't wear clothing to be like, oh look, I got Dolce and Gabbana, I got Versace. I'm just absolutely disgusted by that, and I think that point goes to number two. We should need to shift our culture. We have to try to shift our culture, guys. So put these ideas down as much as possible. Dismiss them outright in front of your friends and family. Be like, you know what? No, I'm disgusted by that. You shouldn't be trying to show off that you have this car or this item. Absolutely not. Use things for the purpose of their utility, not in terms of status association. I think status association is becoming a very, very sick thing. And we see it in our media, in our entertainment culture, our music industry also, how it pushes this consumerist lifestyle onto people. The hip hop artist saying that I got bling bling, I got fucking, I got a car or whatever. Yeah, I don't want to talk about that stuff. It just makes me sick. And point number three, I would say if you have children, do not ever let them watch advertisements. Never let that happen, because the young infant mind, children, young kids, they're very impressionable. They're very highly impressionable. So advertising can have a much more profound impact on the way they think than on me and you. So because as we get older, we can make up our own minds a little bit based on the information we perceive, if we're not horribly brainwashed and zombified by then. But yeah, so really do your best to protect your children from. I think television is more harmful. I make a joke all the time. Television, I think, is more harmful than smoking cigarettes for your health, because of, at least you smoke cigarettes, you get cancer, emphysema, you die. But advertising makes you go and buy stuff and use up the resources of the planet. Keep hoarding and using up more resources and destroying the habitat around you. So going back to what Bill Hicks said, instead of destroying the planet and destroying your own culture and destroying your sense of spirituality or your sense of dignity, instead go and hang yourself. Do the world a favor. I'm just kidding. Don't hang yourself. But basically, yeah, that's the conclusion of my video today, guys. I hope you guys enjoyed it. I'll be making more videos. I'll be making big, long treatment on advertising and other aspects of our economy in the future. But just remember, efficiency is the enemy of the capitalist system. The reason why we have advertising, the reason why we have planned obsolescence, that products break down after a short period of time in order for you to go and buy another one, is because things were becoming more efficient. In the industry and manufacturing, the more efficient it becomes, the more tactics the system has to use to make consumerism and economic growth be perpetuated. Instead of being like, I think we should like shift our economy to adjust to the ever-changing technological trends. Instead of doing that, instead of shifting and changing the economy, no, the economy just tries to find more tactics to manipulate people. It's just terrible. But anyway, that's the end of my video. I hope you guys enjoyed it, and stay tuned for more content like this. Thank you so much. Have a great day. And don't just mindlessly consume. You are what you do. You are your creativity, not what you own. All right? Peace.